Okay, high level Harris, the best affiliate on the planet. Now what we're going to do is look at how you're going to create an automated webinar in Highlevel. These can be good because you can record it once and sell it a million times if you build the audience. I remember when I wanted to do this and I didn't know how to, but there is a way through Highlevel, but you won't have a live chat going on in the webinar, but everything else is perfect. So first thing you want to do is create a web page for people to sign up for your webinar. So let's do that right now. Let's add new page. Just call it like webinar. Okay, then just go to the bottom and press create from blank. Okay, first thing, let's go to sections, add a fill width. What we can do on top of that, we can add our global section, which is our header at the top, and then we can get cracking. We're going to need a title for this, of course. So whatever your webinar name is, that's a bit too large. So let's drop that to like 16. I'm just going to show you the process of making it just in case you want to learn that part of it as well. Let's say we want to create a countdown for when the webinar starts. Let's go to the green section. Let's add a new section and let's add a column. And let's go down to timer, countdown, sorry. And then what you want to do is go down to where it says end date here and pick whenever your webinar is. Let's say your webinar is next Sunday at 7 p.m. So then a countdown will be there. Let's create this. Let's make the background of this green section darker. And let's make this color white so we can see it, and the label color white. Okay. And you see how it's all spaced out? I want it to be, the black section to be quite small. So what you do is there's a green section, blue section, and orange section. What you can do is shrink all of them. Start with the green. You see here on the margin, there's 20 there, 20 there. So let's get rid of that 20 to 0. And let's get rid of the other 20 to 0. We could either go here and shorten that. And so the purple section was shortening. So now that's pretty short. Either put a little subheading saying webinar starts in. Okay, so it's all piecing together now. Okay, so let's add another section down here. So we want to explain why do you want to join the webinar. So let's create a 2-column. Let's add an image on the left side, and let's create a headline here. So in the image we can create a picture in Canva and then save it and upload it in Highlevel. That's a bit too big, so let's create that to 100, maybe 150. Okay. Headline can be why sign up for the webinar. Then we can have a little paragraph and explaining. So let's put the paragraph in. You guys can write your own. Make that a little bigger, maybe 19. So let's add a section of what will be covered in the webinar. So let's go to sections, full width, drag it down again, and the 1 column here. So we can add a headline saying what will be covered. I don't like how there's no dividers. I think there should be a divider between this. So let's type in here, divider. I don't want that there, so what I can do is drag it down here. That's a bit too long, so I want it around like 40%. I want it a bit thicker. That would be okay. Now I can just bullet point the list of what will be covered. So what we can do is add a bullet list underneath, so explaining what will be in the webinar. So let's get it and drag it down below. Then just get your stuff and paste it in. What we can do now is add 3 buttons for 3 different times that someone can book onto to join the webinar. So they're going to fill out a form, and then once they fill out the form, we're going to set up an automation that reminds them of that sends a confirmation email and reminds them like an hour before the webinar and sends them the link. So let's do that. So let's add a 3-section column. Let's add button. Let's make these buttons look half decent. So let's say this one can be a 9 a.m. webinar. This one can be a 1 p.m. webinar. And this one can be a 4 p.m. webinar. Make the background black. You can make the background whatever you like, but I think the main thing is just to add a full border and make the radius about 50. And make the border color whatever the color of your logo is. So of course what we can do is just press say click to sign up under each of them. These are very big buttons and I don't really like that. So what we can do is make the font size a bit smaller, and then of course make the subtext smaller too. Just find the balance that you want. So what we need to do now is create 3 forms for these 3 different times. So let's do that now. So in Sites, go to Forms and go to Form Builder, and just make 3 different forms for 1 p.m, 4 p.m, and 9 a.m. And then they should look like this. Just like this. Just make it like that. That should be fine. Okay, of course I'll make this more glamorous, but you guys can do that yourselves. So what you want to do with these 3 buttons is that one of them can open a pop-up, and the other 2 you're going to have to create another web page with the form on, because Highlevel at the moment don't let you create 3 different pop-ups. So let's let the 1 p.m. one be a pop-up. So whenever they click this button, a pop-up will appear. If you go to pop-up settings, what you want to do is add a row, add element, and add your form in that you just made. Form, click your form, which this one is 1 p.m. So webinar form, 1 p.m. Then you can just add a quick title saying, okay, that's it, and press save. Now the other 2, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m, we're going to have to create a separate web page and then add the form there. I'll quickly show you how it should look like. So what you're going to do is just add a new web page, and it should look something like this. So just make it look something like this. So this is the 4 p.m, add a title and add a form. And then for the 9 a.m, add a title, add a form, that's it. So obviously you need to go create your actual webinar, record it and edit it. So once that's done, now we need to create a page for where you're going to upload that video, where people are going to go onto. So let's do that. So create a new web page, add your header, add a section, create a title, and that. Then after, what you want to do is go to where it says video and paste that here. And what you want is a hosted video. So you've got different types. Click on hosted video, and what you want to do is upload the video that you've saved to your computer. Create a thumbnail in Canva, and here's the important part. Our webinars are normally like auto-played, so you don't want it to be like a traditional video. So I'll leave autoplay on, so whenever they jump on this URL, the video would immediately start playing. And obviously you'd allow full screen toggle. You can enable PRP mode on scroll. So basically what that is if you scroll away from the video will minimize into like a little tab at the bottom of the screen, and they can continue watching. So you can add that if you like, and of course you can add a progress bar. And also what's interesting, you can generate leads from the video. You can create a separate form, and then when they're watching the video at a specific time that you choose, you can make them fill out a form and create an automation of that form if you like. So now that we've got the page that they're going to sign up from, and we've created the page that the webinar is held, we just need to create automations now. So whenever someone fills the form out, they get a confirmation email and they're reminded an hour before the webinar. So let's do that. So I'm going to create an automation for the 9 a.m. webinar. You just repeat the same thing for the other 2. Even if you just want one time, then you just want automation. So create workflow and start from scratch. Call this the 9 a.m. webinar auto. The trigger, what's going to start this off, be a form submission. And that form is the 9 a.m. webinar form. Now what's very important here is we need to add the step set event start date. So we're letting the automation know when this webinar date actually is. We need to let the automation know, we need to let Highlevel know that the webinar is taking place on a specific day and a specific time. So whenever we remind the customers an hour before, it knows the time is at 4 p.m. so it can remind them at 3 p.m. if that makes sense. So obviously we'll say what day and time. What we can do next is add a tag, so we know that this person is coming for the 9 a.m. webinar. The next, we can send an internal notification to ourselves that you'll get through the Lead Connector mobile app. So we can say contact name, which will go here. Contact first name is joining the webinar. Then you can just put the contact full name is joining the. You could put their email, their phone, that sort of thing. Go to contact user. You want to notify yourself, so pick you and press save. Next, what we want to do is email the contacts. When they submit the form, we want to give a confirmation email. So you can add a template. I do have a template. Thank you for signing up for the webinar template. So how it looks like is this. The way you'd make email templates is that you'd go to the marketing tab. I'll show you right now. you go to the marketing tab, you go to email, you go to email templates, and then you look at some high level templates, ones that you like, and just simplify it down into something that you like. So for example, here's one of my thank you for signing up for the webinar. So the way you would create this appointment custom values for the date and time is that you'd have to go onto the email, create a quick email like this, and then go to custom values here, and then go to appointment, start time, start date and time, and you'd copy these values and paste it in the template. And then once you do that, here's how it should look like at the end. So you've got a form trigger, you've got a set event time, we've tagged them, we've sent a confirmation email, say thank you, we notify ourselves. Then what we do is we create a wait step 1 hour before. What we do is we send a reminder email, and then 5 minutes before, what we do is we send the actual link to the webinar, and you get that link by previewing your page that you have your video on and pasting the URL there. If you guys want any help with this, join my affiliate program, and here's all the benefits you get. I'll sit one-on-one with you and explain to you anything you need. And then what also you can do is wait 1 hour after the webinar, and then send them an email saying, here's a little coupon, and it's just a good thing to do. Okay, so that's it, and how you create an automated webinar in Highlevel. I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and explain any questions you have. But that's all. Thank you.